Dear students, today I am going to discuss about second order nonlinear optics and second harmonic generation as a part of the course of BSc 6th semester major under Dibrugarh University of the paper Laser and Applications. We have been talking about one of the important application of lasers, which is nonlinear optics. So we have learned in the previous class under what condition one is stated to be in the nonlinear optical regime, and we also learned about polarization, which is produced by intense laser light. So nonlinear optics covers a process where if an electric field of a light is excited on a nonlinear crystal, then a polarization is created or induced in the crystal, which can be expressed as P equal to epsilon naught xi1 into E plus xi2 into E square plus xi3 into E cube and so on. Here xi1 is known as linear susceptibility, and here polarization is a function of electric field, means it is proportional to applied electric field of a laser light. But if the electric field corresponding to the laser light is strong enough, then this polarization will not be longer as a function of only electric field, and it can be a function of higher terms of electric field or higher powers of electric field, that is E square, E cube, etc. So the general expression of induced polarization can be written as this equation. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about one important nonlinear optical process, which is second order nonlinear optical process. Second order nonlinear optical process is probably the simplest but most useful optical nonlinearity that most of the people uses. If we consider second order nonlinear optics, then the polarization induced in the nonlinear crystal can be written as P2 equal to epsilon naught xi2 E square. Here we have been neglecting all other effects of nonlinearity and assume only second order nonlinear optical effect. So the second order polarization induced in the nonlinear crystal will be a function of E square. There are three different types of second order nonlinear processes. The first one is second harmonic generation, or in short it is written as SHG. The second order nonlinear process also consists of another process which is called some frequency generation, or they can difference in frequency generation. Here, sum or difference frequency generation. This is in short called SFG or DFG. Apart from these two important processes, there is another one process which is known as parametric conversion. In the second harmonic generation, a fundamental frequency of a laser light is passed through a nonlinear crystal and will get a second harmonic wave, means a wave which has a frequency of double of the frequency of the fundamental wave. The second process involves mixing of two different monochromatic waves to generate a wave which is sum or difference in frequencies of the two waves. So here frequency conversion is obtained here in both the two processes, and in parametric conversion two monochromatic waves are used to amplify a third wave. So using these three different nonlinear optical processes, we can convert frequencies, and these processes obey second order nonlinearity. We will not discuss about the sum or difference frequency generation and parametric conversion here, because these two processes are not relevant to your syllabus, but today we will discuss only about second harmonic generation, how second harmonic waves are produced, and what are the characteristics of the second harmonic wave. We will discuss it in a short while. I will mention here that the first process, that is second harmonic wave, was first observed in the year 1961, and it was done on ruby laser. The fundamental wavelength of ruby laser is 694.3 nanometer, and second harmonic wave will be of half of that. So you can see I am calling it second harmonic generation. So this term, in this term, if both the frequencies corresponding to the electric fields are same, the resultant new wave will be called second harmonic wave, and the incident photon, that is E, we use to excite a material or to allow the material to interact with it, is known as fundamental. And similarly, if we go to this process, and if I choose my all the electric fields, that is E into E into E, here there are three components of electric field to be originated from the same frequency, the yield will be another harmonic, and this is third order process. So it will be called third harmonic, and the process is called third harmonic generation. So the electric fields originating from a laser light can have different components. If the two components have the same frequency, that is the two electric fields originating from the same laser source, and the nonlinear optical medium obeys second order nonlinearity, that is, the induced polarization is proportional to the square of the electric field of the laser light, then the process will be second order nonlinear optics. And in this process, a second harmonic wave will be created in the crystal along with the fundamental laser light. So, we'll first derive phenomenological expression for second order nonlinear optical process which involve laser radiation. So, in order to do this, let's take a laser beam and consider it to be a plane wave. Let also assume this fundamental laser is characterized by a frequency omega and a wave vector k. So the electric field associated with this fundamental laser light can be expressed by this form: E omega zt, means here the electric field corresponding to a frequency omega is a function of position z and time t, will be E omega t e to the power j kz minus omega t plus complex conjugate of this part, that is E star omega t e to the power minus j kz minus omega t. This is a very familiar wave equation, as you have already learned in the previous year courses, that the electric field can be written by this form. Here one part is phase part, another part is space part. So after simplifying this exponential term, the sign part will be cancelled out and this will become twice E cos of kz minus omega t, which will be E naught cos kz minus omega t. Here E naught is the amplitude of the electric field, E omega. So we have considered that in the second order nonlinear process, when this amount of electric field is applied to a crystal, then it will produce second harmonic wave within the crystal. So within nonlinear optical crystal, the second order induced polarization will be epsilon naught xi to E square. Here this E can be written as E naught cos kz minus omega t. So the second order polarization becomes epsilon naught xi to E naught square cos square kz minus omega t after putting the value of E from this equation. Now using the trigonometric identity, cos square x is equal to half into 1 plus cos twice x, we will have epsilon naught xi 2 e naught square by 2 plus half epsilon naught xi 2 e naught square cos 2 kz minus twice omega t. Thus, we have seen that the second order polarization contains two parts, this part and this part. The first part is called DC and the second part is called second harmonic wave, or simply SHW. Why I am calling these two parts as DC and second harmonic wave? Because in the first part, this electrical susceptibility xi 2 is independent of frequency. Here no frequency related term is involved here. So this part is a DC part. But in the second part, as we have seen that here this cos part contains frequency twice omega and wave vector twice k. So this will give rise to a wave where the frequency will be double the frequency of the fundamental frequency, means twice omega. So here I have written 0 means frequency independent, and here xi 2 is a function of 2 omega and 2k. Here in the picture you can see that when an electric field corresponding to a laser light is applied to a nonlinear crystal, then the polarization induced in the crystal will be P and L, and it gives rise to two components. One is DC, there is no frequency dependent term here, and one is second harmonic wave. A sinusoidal electric field of angular frequency omega in a second order nonlinear optical medium creates a polarization with a component at twice omega, that is second harmonic, and a steady component. Now, as we have seen that when a fundamental frequency of a laser light is passed through a nonlinear optical crystal, then if the medium behaves second order nonlinearity, then the induced polarization will give rise to two components. One is DC component and one is second harmonic wave. That is, a wave will travel through the crystal which has a frequency of double the frequency of the fundamental laser light. Fundamental frequency of the laser light. So, in the output, this fundamental and the second harmonic wave will pass along with, and they can interfere destructively or constructively. When the fundamental and the second harmonic wave will interfere constructively, then they will give rise to maximization of the second harmonic generation. But if this fundamental and second harmonic wave will interfere destructively, then it will be a problem. So now we are going to discuss about the production of second harmonic wave and how the amplitude or intensity of the second harmonic wave depends on some particular parameters. We will discuss it in a short while. Let us know the wave equation when the optical medium behaves nonlinearity. We know that Maxwell's equation in a nonlinear medium can be expressed as del 2E del Z2 minus n square by c square del 2E del T2 is equal to mu naught del 2 PNL del T2. This is a famous wave equation. When this wave interacts with a nonlinear optical crystal, then the wave equation can be written with this form. Here n refers to refractive index of the material and which is linear, and PNL means nonlinear optical polarization of the material, can be written as epsilon naught xi 2 e square plus epsilon naught xi 3 e cube and so on. So in order to make this form a sense, this series must converge. In order to fulfill this equation, the series must converge, means xi 2 should be greater than xi 3, xi 3 should be greater than xi 4, and xi 4 should be greater than xi 5, and so on. Similarly, the wave equation with electrical susceptibility with second order, that is xi 2, can be written as del 2E del Z2 minus n square by c square del 2E del T2 is equal to mu naught del 2 P2 del T2. Here for second order nonlinearity, we have written polarization P as P2, and this second order nonlinear polarization P2 can be written as epsilon naught xi 2 e square. So here we have picked out only second harmonic generation of a single incident wave at a frequency omega. Second harmonic generation. In this process, we imagine that one laser at frequency omega, that is the fundamental frequency, is used to illuminate a nonlinear medium. As this field propagates through the medium, its intensity will be depleted, and the intensity of the second harmonic wave, which is initially 0, will grow. Means when a laser light of fundamental frequency omega propagates through a nonlinear optical medium, its intensity decreases, and the intensity of the produced second harmonic wave increases as we move forward to the crystal. Means as the distance increases within the crystal, the intensity of the fundamental light slowly decreases and the intensity of the second harmonic wave slowly increases. So now we are describing the second harmonic wave. We are interested in the behavior of the field that oscillates at twice omega, that is the second harmonic. We assume this field is of the form of E twice omega is equal to A twice omega e to the power j k twice omega j minus z 2 omega t plus complex conjugate of this part. This is the electric field of the second harmonic wave that is generated in the optical medium. So here there are two parts, this part and the complex conjugate of this part. Here we require that the amplitude, the amplitude of the electric field oscillating at twice omega is slowly varying, and also that it vanishes at the input facet of the nonlinear medium. That is, the value of this amplitude when z is equal to 0 means at the input facet of the nonlinear optical crystal is taken to be 0. Furthermore, the wave vector of this wave is related to the refractive index of the nonlinear medium at frequency twice omega as k 2 omega is equal to n into twice omega by c, where c is the speed of light. Our goal is to determine this amplitude a twice omega, which is a function of z. So, what equation must the second harmonic obey? We have to know what equation must the second harmonic obey. The second harmonic wave must obey the wave equation as del 2 e2 omega del z2 minus n by c whole square del 2 e2 omega del t2 is equal to mu naught del 2 p2 del t2. This equation. As we have seen, the second order polarization results from the field at frequency omega, that is the fundamental frequency. So, putting the spatial dependence explicitly, P2 will be epsilon naught xi2 into a omega e to the power minus j omega t plus j k omega z whole square. Means this fundamental frequency of the laser light creates second order polarization in the nonlinear crystal, and as this second order polarization is directly proportional to the square of the electric field of the fundamental frequency, so this P2T can be written as by this form. Here a omega is the amplitude of the incident field, that is the one at frequency omega, and this k omega is the wave vector of the incident field, and this k omega can be written as n omega by c. So this equation becomes P2 will be epsilon naught xi to a omega square e to the power j into twice k omega j minus twice omega t. After simplifying this equation, we will get this equation. Now, putting the values of E2 omega and P2 in this equation, putting the value of P2 and E2 omega in this equation, we will get this equation. Here we can cancel out these three terms, this term, this term, and this term, and this e to the power minus 2 omega t and e to the power minus 2 omega t of both sides can also be cancelled out. This term is cancelled as we take the approximation of slowly varying envelope. Slowly varying envelope approximation, SVEA, means the amplitude of the electric field in the crystal varies with the distance. So, the second order differentiation of this amplitude with respect to distance will be very, very small to this part. First order differentiation of the amplitude with respect to distance. So, we can neglect this term being very small, and these two parts will be equal. This part will be k square twice omega from this, sorry. So this part, these two will be cancelled out. So solving the equation, we will get the nonlinear wave equation as this one, twice j k twice omega del a twice omega del z is equal to minus 4 xi 2 omega square by c square a omega square e to the power j twice k omega j into e to the power minus j k twice omega j. Here we assume that the incident field is not significantly depleted by the conversion process. That is, A omega does not decrease very much with increasing Z. Here A omega is independent of Z, and in this case we can easily integrate both sides of this equation. So we will get, after integrating both sides, this part will give a twice omega. Here we define phase mismatch, means the phase difference between the two waves, that is fundamental and second harmonic wave, as delta k is equal to 2 k omega minus k twice omega. Here we have taken 2 k omega because we consider two components of electric field of the fundamental frequency. So 2 comes here, and k twice omega is the wave vector of the second harmonic wave. This will become 4 pi by lambda into n omega minus n2 omega. N omega corresponds to the refractive index of the material at frequency omega, and n twice omega refers to the refractive index of the material at frequency twice omega. So integrating this part, here we will get 1 by j delta k e to the power j delta k into j minus 1. Thus we have arrived at a result a twice omega is proportional to xi to a omega square e to the power j delta kz minus 1 by delta k. Since this c is constant, this part will be here, putting the value of this integral here. So delta j cancel out, and this will become xi to a omega square, and this part. So the intensity of the second harmonic wave is proportional to square of the amplitude of the second harmonic wave. So I twice omega, that is intensity of the second harmonic wave, is proportional to the square of the amplitude of the second harmonic wave, which will give rise to I omega square sine square delta k into z by 2 by delta k square. So in general, this I twice omega can be written as proportional to I omega square z square sine square delta by delta square, where delta can be written as delta k into z by 2. This delta is known as phase mismatch. So we have seen that the intensity of the second harmonic wave is proportional to the square of the intensity of the fundamental wave, and this intensity of the secondary wave also depends on the product of delta k and z. Here delta k is the phase mismatch and z is the length of the crystal. So here this graph is a plot between intensity and delta, it is phase mismatch. As we have seen that when the phase mismatch means the phase difference between the two waves, that is fundamental and secondary wave, is 0, then constructive interference will occur there and the intensity of the second harmonic wave will be maximum. Here 1 maximum value, and for different values of this phase mismatch delta, there will be different intensity of the second harmonic wave, and the graph between intensity and phase mismatch will appear as this. Here the figure A and B illustrates several configurations for optical second harmonic generation in bulk materials and in waveguides, in which infrared light is converted to visible light and visible light is converted to the ultraviolet light. Here we have seen that the output of a laser, ruby laser, having wavelength 694 nanometer is passed to a crystal KDP, then it will give rise to a second harmonic wave of wavelength 347 nanometer. Here omega is converted to twice omega. In the figure B, Indian laser, the output of the Indian laser having wavelength 1.06 micrometer, which is a IR, which is in the IR region, is passed through germanium and p-doped silica glass fiber, and the output will give rise to 530 nanometer second harmonic light, which is green. So here also this omega is converted to twice omega. So these are some examples of generation of second harmonic wave using second order nonlinear optical process. So this is all about second harmonic generation as per your syllabus, and I ended up here with this. Thank you.